The Major League Baseball Hall of Fame gained a former VFL this week. VFL's go head to head to the Super Bowl. Don't connect, just scored again. This is the VFL Review.
Please remain seated.
Happy Sunday. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. Got a lot to cover this week. Lots of good news on the home front for Tennessee this week and just different sports. But as always, thank you for your support. Make sure you like this, share it, subscribe to the channel. Lots of positive feedback. I've talked about it. My goal coming out for this month was 100. I'm up to 125 on this thing. So let's keep this thing going. If you know any Vol fans who haven't checked it out, share it with them. Get them onto the channel. Lots of content coming, basketball, baseball, football ahead. But let's get into this thing. First thing this week, and I thought it was really cool, a big deal, Todd Helton elected to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. So he is the first former Vol to be elected to the Hall of Fame and only the second SEC player elected behind Frank Thomas. I thought that was really interesting. Knowing all the players who've come through this conference and played in this conference, and there's only been now two elected into the Hall of Fame. That's a pretty cool honor. If you remember Todd Helton when he was here, he's a two-sport athlete. Of course, he played quarterback. Of course, when Peyton Manning came in as a freshman, and I thought it was funny reading the interview. Somebody asked Helton when he knew Manning would be better than him at quarterback. He said, well, when he got here, he said he knew the playbook better than I did, and I'd been here 3 years. But Helton did. He was a decent quarterback when he played. I know he come in and beat Georgia on the road. I think he had an injury that led to Manning eventually taking over, and then, of course, the rest is history from there. But Helton was also at Tennessee a two-way player. He played first base and he pitched. Normally he was the closer, and they went to the College World Series. I can't remember the year exactly, but they went while he was there. So great player. I mean, probably one of your last, definitely your best two-way guy who's come through, and maybe one of your last ones that I can remember that come through. And there's probably been more that I'm not thinking of right off the top of my head, but congrats to Todd Helton, a great former Vol, well-deserved, full career with the Colorado Rockies. And, you say what you want about where you play at, but when you look at a guy's numbers and they're good on the road and they're good in Denver as well, guy's a player, heck of a player, heck of an honor. Congrats to him. And then, of course, baseball, staying on the baseball front, Tony Vitello had his opening conference on Friday. I dropped a video on that. I'll link it on here as well. Just talked about, different aspects. The two things that stood out to me was the team chemistry. Talked about how it seemed to me like he said it's already better than it was last year, that they dealt with chemistry issues. And I think that was a lot of people, kind of assumed that last year. So that's a good thing. He talked about how these guys really like each other and hang out a lot. And then you have talked about Zane Denton, how he didn't just come out and say it, but it doesn't look like Zane Denton will be a part of the team this year. And I've seen it said maybe he could be a part of the team in 2025, but I don't know. I personally have a hard time believing if he doesn't play this year that he'll come back again next year. But wish Zane Denton the best and whatever he decides. I mean, he provided some great moments last year for sure. But baseball, we'll be getting into that. I'll be dropping season predictions this week. My lineup I would make if I were coach. Not saying I know more than Tony Vitello by any means, just having a little fun with it as well. And then, big game started just a little bit ago. Chiefs and Ravens. You got Trey Smith on the Chiefs. The Ravens don't have any players, but T. Martin and Chuck Smith are both coaches for the Ravens. So you're going to have VFLs getting a chance to go to the Super Bowl there. And then we're looking at Detroit and San Francisco here later on this evening. Juwan Jennings on the 49ers. Detroit with Reeves Maven, with Cam Sutton, who are playing. Then you got Hendon Hooker, who's active. You've got Emmanuel Mosley, who's on. So four one team or another, there's going to be former Vols there as well. So best of luck to them this evening. And then, of course, on the football front this week, Tennessee got big news. George McIntyre in the boat for 2025. They've got their cornerstone for the program intact. And, it's on. It is on. That quarterback room in Knoxville is really special right now. And it's going to be with Nico, with Merklinger, with McIntyre. And then, I have no doubt they'll continue to add to that as they go along. And, speaking of football, I want to drop an assessment of the positions, and I want to make a way too early prediction for 2024. As I've already sat down and examined it, decided which way I want to go, and might be a pretty bold record I'm predicting for this year. But the way it looks, I like the schedule. I like how it looks there. But VFL's in the NBA. Grant Williams this week, last night, had his career high 20 points for Dallas. Of course, that follows up a night where Luka was 73 for Dallas on Friday night. Crazy. Absolutely crazy there. But I was looking, they had a good feature on UT Sports this week about Tennessee basketball and Vols in the pros. And I took note of it. There's 5 former Vols in the NBA. 2 former Vols are on 2-way contracts. You got 1 in the G League, Kennedy Chandler. Man, it'd be nice if he were still in Knoxville instead of that G League. And then if I counted right, 19 playing overseas, just around the world right now. Some guys I forgot about even played for Tennessee. Some names I had to think of who they were for a minute because it'd been so long. But lots of former Vols still playing around the world. And, like I said, Williams, kind of your main NBA guys, Tobias Harris, Grant Williams, Josh Richardson. Of course, Richardson's bounced around a lot in years. Going to the men's hoop side of things, another good week. I mean, Tennessee was off midweek. Beat Vandy in Nashville last night. Wasn't their best game, but you've got Dalton Connect, man. That's all it needs to be said. A lot of the players are getting on that, giving him a hard time and stuff, but you can tell these guys are having fun right now. You can tell this team's having fun. And, Wes Rucker wrote an article talking about past Vol teams. I thought it was a good article. Past Vol teams, you could kind of see it when it was going to be that night, where if they're passing up shots where nobody wanted to take the shot, but you've got a guy now who's not afraid of it, taking it over 32 points. And in the true road games this year, this dude's just been, amazing in what he's done. So coming up this week, South Carolina on Tuesday night, 6:30. I'll drop a preview on that tomorrow. Recap Tuesday night right after the game, then a big one Saturday night at Rupp in Kentucky. So we'll see. And this South Carolina team's playing good basketball. So Tennessee cannot take them for granted coming in. This was a team last year, not very good. They've improved a lot. It's a good basketball team coming in. So excited to see that. I do expect Tennessee to hold serve, though. I expect them to take care of business at home on that. Lady Vols, they were also off middle of the week, beat Vandy last week. As always, guys, it's our state. It is our state. Put the hashtag on it and put the caps on it. Playing Ole Miss right now as we speak. And so hopefully they continue to win ways as well, as they played pretty well getting in a conference, 5-1 coming into today. And then I'll wrap up with softball. Softball was picked by the coaches this week to win the SEC conference. And then 2 players, McKenna Gibson, Kiki Malloy, were voted to the United USA Player of the Year watch for this year. So that's a pretty cool thing to see as well. So lots of news this week. And of course, with football as well, they got the McIntyre commitment. Tennessee also welcomed 22 new players, transfers, and freshmen to campus to get started. And we're still waiting on more details for spring practice, but that should be exciting, implementing all these guys. And not aware of right now any guys that'll be out for spring. Of course, Javonte Spraggins announces he's coming back. That's a big for that offensive line. That is huge. This is should give Nico a good offensive line in front of him. I'm probably forgetting something with all this, but just a lot of stuff I want to cover for the week. This is a fun segment to do, just to look back on it all. But Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this thing out. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. Enjoy your Sunday. And as always, go Vols.
Everyone rejects me.